This happened a few weeks before the Slenderman stabbings in Wisconsin we reported on last week. We're just finding out about this story now. So, Abby, let me go to you first. Do we blame the Slenderman for these attacks, or if it had been whatever, it would have been Black Sabbath or Freddy Krueger or something else?
Well, I think the situation here is it's documented. The mother said that her daughter suffered from mental illness.
Yes.
So for here, that is the primary red flag. Her daughter had mental illness. Now, why, if her daughter has mental illness, is she surfing the net and looking into these types of things? This is where I feel that a parent, when you know your child has these issues, where you need to very closely monitoring. The other thing is the parent didn't discover all the Slenderman stuff until after the fact, until after the attack.
Yes,
so
Evie,
I think this is,
go ahead.
Right?
Yes.
I'm jumping out of my seat.
That's right. We agree.
I'm so glad that you brought that up, because when I read that, I was absolutely shocked that her daughter was having delusions, believed that she was being spoken to by demons, and then nobody was monitoring her social media activity, especially when she was engulfed in such dark things like these creepypastas. But here, to me, is a clear cut. We know that she's suffering from mental illness. She blacked out. She can't recall the incident of the crime. This is completely different from the two 12-year-olds who premeditated, who remembered every single detail of their attempted murder. That's why I think the other girls are not mentally ill, Dr. Drew.
And different from the Las Vegas story we just reported on, where people have months of preoccupations and are in their right mind. Lonnie, what do we do with this girl?
Well, I think she needs a mental evaluation, obviously, and probably there's a history of this based on what the mother says. She's known for a while she has mental illness. And I agree. The interesting point here is she said after her daughter tried to kill her with a knife, she went through and started looking at her Facebook and her writings. You know, if your child has mental illness, you need to be on high alert at all times for what they're writing, what they're looking at, if they have access to weapons, guns, knives, things like that. You have to be constantly vigilant to help this child be safe for themselves and for others.
Yep, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely true. Erica, I'm sure you agree with this. Help people understand how, people were, like Michelle was having trouble with that last story not being so much about mental illness and this being almost exclusively a mental illness story.
Yeah, absolutely. These are nuanced cases. It's easy to kind of put everything in one, in one bag, but they're separate. And in this one, we see that she had a mental illness. It was possibly psychosis at that point. She was reaching out in drawings, all these things to her mom. And the Slenderman thing was just something she happened to latch onto. And you took my point right out of my mouth, Dr. Drew. If it was Freddy Krueger 10, 15, 20 years ago, that's what it would have been. The mentally stable or more healthy mind can handle these slightly, off distractions, such as, Slenderman or violent video games. But just watching Slenderman or just watching violent video games doesn't make one stab one's mother. I mean, there's something much deeper.